In just his second season in the MLB, Alek Manoah was dominant. He finished third in the AL Cy Young Award with a 2.24 ERA and earned his first All-Star nod. Blue Jays fans and fans around the league were looking for big things out of the big right-hander this upcoming 2023 season. However, things have not gone Manoah's way, and he's been looking like one of the worst pitchers in the league. What's up, guys? It's Six Man Sports, and today we're going to tackle what happened to Alek Manoah in 3 different ways, because I think it's a mix of 3 reasons, and how he can improve and bounce back to the ace we know he can be. This season, Alek Manoah has a 6.36 ERA and almost as many walks as strikeouts. He's been giving up the long ball too much and hasn't been able to limit damage with runners in scoring position. I think we can attribute the disaster start to Alek's season to 3 main problems. Number 1, the quality of his pitches, or stuff they have, has decreased. Number 2, the mechanics of his delivery has changed. And number 3, the new shift and pitch clock rules have changed his results. Let's talk about Manoah's arsenal. The big righty features 4 pitches: a sinker which is in the lower 90s and upper 80s, a slider in the lower 80s, a fastball in the mid 90s, and a changeup in the mid to high 80s. As shown by the graph on the right, the entire MLB has been increasing when it comes to fastball velocity for the past 15 years. However, Alek Manoah, who was on par with the league average when it comes to fastball velocity, actually took a hit of 1 mile per hour in his fastball velocity, and it has gone down from 94 to 93. And I think this is a big problem. The reason I think this is a big problem is that more velocity means a pitch is harder to hit. As pitches' velocities increase, the batting average goes down, and so does the isolated power. Hitters aren't able to hit the ball as hard or as far, and they aren't able to collect any type of hits. Singles are more common than home runs when it comes to faster pitches. However, is this all true for Alek Manoah? His 2022 fastball had a 212 batting average with a 286 WOBA and pretty good strikeout numbers and limited hard hit percentages. However, his 2023 fastball is the opposite. Hitters are crushing the fastball. 328 batting average, 447 WOBA, and a low strikeout percentage that has decreased, and a much increased hard hit percentage of 52%. The one stat I'm going to focus on is WOBA, which stands for weighted on-base average. So what does this stat mean? It's a version of on-base percentages which cares about how a player reached base. So doubles and triples are worth more than singles, similar to slugging percentage. However, they use more exact math to give this valuation. A league average WOBA would be something around 320, with terrible WOBAs being 290 or below and insane WOBAs being 400 and above. So WOBA is a hitting stat, but when you take the stance of a pitcher, a lower WOBA is what a pitcher wants, because that means hitters are hitting worse and getting on base worse when it comes to their pitches. We can see that the 2022 fastball is awful when it comes to hitters' performance, and the 2023 fastball is excellent when it comes to hitters' performance. This is a big drop-off in the consistency and efficiency of the fastball for Manoah, as hitters are absolutely mashing it this season. Let's talk about another one of Manoah's pitches which has decreased drastically in performance: the slider. The slider has seen a drop-off in 1.6 inches of horizontal break between 2022 and 2023. But what does this mean? The more horizontal break a slider has, the more deceiving it is to hitters, the more swings and misses it causes, the more strikeouts, and the less balls in play. The slider from Manoah this season has also lost a tick in velocity, and it's breaking earlier, which means hitters are able to see the ball better and square it up and hit better, rather than get fooled like they did last year. Manoah's best pitch this season is easily his sinker. In 2022, he would mix his sinker and slider, as his slider would move outside the zone and his sinker would move in towards the hitters. And this way, as they come from both similar release points and come to the zone in similar locations, when they split in opposite directions, it causes the hitter to be more confused and not know which pitch is really coming. Overall, in 2023, Alek has less command and has lost his ability to get swing and misses as much, which has caused more reliability on the fastball, which he has to throw more in the zone, which hitters, like I mentioned, are mashing because of the decreased velocity. The next problem is his delivery and mechanics. Alek is generally one of the slower pitchers in baseball. A side-by-side comparison from last year and this year has shown how his delivery has even changed. As we can see, by the time he's starting to raise his leg, In 2022, his ball would already be out of his glove and his hand would be starting his pitching motion. However, in 2023, his arm is still in the glove and he's still pulling out of the glove, and his motion has been much more different than we're used to. And what this has resulted in is a completely different motion when it comes time for Alek to actually pitch. In 2023, Alek's front shoulder is not aligned with his back shoulder like he had in 2022. This misalignment affects his velocity of the fastball and slider, but it also hurts his horizontal break of the slider, and these are three of the biggest reasons he's not getting as many swing and misses, and he's been inducing more hard contact. So his little change in his delivery and his mechanics of the delivery is actually hurting all of his pitches and his quality of the pitches. One cause in this change mechanics could be the pitch clock. Like I mentioned, Alek is generally one of the slowest pitchers in baseball, and his delivery does seem rushed due to the pitch clock, which could make him less comfortable on the mound and lead to a different motion which he's not necessarily as comfortable with. If we look at the stats before and after the pitch clock, we can see that Alek was generally a pitcher who took more of his time, and because of the pitch clock, he's had to shave 3 to 4 seconds off the pitches when there's no runners and when there's runners on the bases. And this 3 to 4 second difference could cause the change in his motion and the change in his delivery. Another cause of Alek's struggles are the new shift rules. The new shift rules state that there can only be 2 fielders on each side of second base. And because of the heavy shifting that we've seen in the past against guys like Cody Bellinger, Joey Gallo, and Corey Seager, we only can now have 2 on each side and not 3 or 4 like teams had deployed in the past. But how does all of this relate to Alek? In 2022, the Jays shifted 35% of the time versus right-handed hitters and 65% of the time against left-handed hitters when Alek was on the mound. And this increased frequency in shifting caused more balls to be in the infield and stopped, leading to more outs and less hard hits reaching the outfield. The removal of the shift has caused more hits to go through the infield and go to the outfield, resulting in more base hits and more scoring opportunities for opponents against Manoah. So those are my 3 main reasons why Alek Manoah has been struggling to start the 2023 season. But I did want to touch on his demotion all the way down to the Florida Gulf Coast League. So many people were talking about how instead of demoting him to AAA, they actually demoted him to the single A Dunedin facilities. And I actually think this is a positive move for Alek. Like we mentioned, the main issues when it comes to Alek this year are to do with his delivery and his stuff. And because his pitches aren't as quality because of his flawed delivery and flawed mechanics, I think when you go down to a facility like Dunedin in Florida, Alek will have people to work with where he can change his delivery, he can induce more swings and strikes with a slider which will sweep and easier, and when it comes to an improved slider, a fastball with more ticks on the velocity, and the increased use of sinkers and changeups into his arsenal again, and he pitch mixes all 4 of these pitches alongside while training in Dunedin, I think that could be a positive step for Alek Manoah. While it's too early to tell if Alek will be the pitcher that we all know he has been, I think the future is still very bright for this player, and we know every young player faces setbacks, and this is just Alek's big setback. If you don't know, in 2020, during the COVID season, when the minor league season was canceled, Alek trained at what was called the alternate training site. And at this alternate training site, he was able to work on his repertoire and he was able to really get better as a pitcher. And this is why we saw him go up the minors so quickly in 2021 and come to the majors and even be amazing as a rookie pitcher. So the alternate training site has helped Manoah in the past. This is a similar experience where now he has to just get a fresh start and complete reset, where I think he's going to bounce back and be a great pitcher again. I know I may be biased as a Blue Jays fan, but I'm really hoping for Alek's success. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and bye. I'll see you in the next one.